Welcome everyone to the Truth Psyrum Show. I'm so excited. It has been a long time coming. I know you guys have been saying, where's your podcast? Where's your show? Here you go. You got it. Okay. Now, because I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm doing this completely solo for now, I'm going to be recording this in two spaces because just in case this camera over here is too far and you can't hear me, I got a camera over here that's going to be recording a visual and an audio for me. So between the two, I'm going to get some, okay? So today's episode, which is my first episode, is going to be the truth about Gigi, me, right? And I'm so excited to share those things because some of you guys know some things about me and some things you don't. So this gives me the opportunity to share those things with you and you get a chance to learn a little bit more about me at the same time. So before I get started, I want to make sure that I say this. I'm gonna say this every episode so that you guys know, because this show is about my experience and my education through plant medicine. I want to make sure that I am letting everyone know that this show does not intend to sell, promote, or encourage the use of psilocybin mushrooms or any other plant medicine mentioned on this program. All mentioned experiences are for education and entertainment purposes only. It's just about me, okay? Now that we got that out the way, part one, okay? So y'all know I'm 44. So let's travel down memory lane. Okay, we're gonna go down some years and start. Where is this girl from? I was born Glinda Robinson. Yes, Glinda, the good witch. I'm gonna put a little witch broom or something right there. Beside it, okay, since that's what y'all always want to put. But yes, I was born in Toulouse, Louisiana, and I was born and raised in Toulouse, Louisiana. I did not leave Toulouse, Louisiana until I graduated from high school from Reuben McCall High School, a home of the Dragons, okay, in 1997. And I went to Southern University. Now, I will back up and say, before I attended Southern University and graduated with a dual degree in biology and microbiology, I went to Grambling State University also for a semester and a half. So I have Grambling State roots in me as well, but my alma mater and my alumni status will always be with Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I met my college sweetheart and married him from Southern University. So we both were in microbiology. Yes, I am a nerd. I love science. I have always loved science. It has always been something that has been a turn on for me. We'll get into my chart later as to why those things are. But yeah, so I was married and left Southern University and moved to Texas, stayed in Texas for about a year and a half, and I was working at a company called Cargill. All these things and terms and places that I'm mentioning, I will be mentioning throughout the terms of or season of the podcast because all these things are very instrumental in my life and how I landed up here. But I wound up working for Cargill and in Saginaw, Texas, and I worked at their flower plant. And eventually I knew that I wanted to live in Atlanta, Georgia, because as I was in college, got a chance to go on a college trip to Atlanta and fell in love. I knew that was what a place I wanted to be. So whatever I had to do to get there, I was determined to do that. So my job, I just happened to have a division of soybean oil, like cooking oil, that it was contracting in Gainesville, Georgia. I applied for the job, and of course, I got the job, and that is how I landed in Atlanta, Georgia. And boy, was I in for a ride. Okay, I came to Atlanta as a newly married woman. And ready for nothing, okay? But I was in for a lot. Cargill taught me a lot of things, but I knew that that wasn't the place that I wanted to be. So I started off in Southern University in biology pre-med. So I knew I always wanted to kind of be in the medical industry, but just looking at all the education, the debt and all those things, I just didn't want to sign up for those things. So I decided to take the research side of it, which is how I landed at Cargill, working for the flower plant and working for the soybean plant. But those were industries that just was not feeding my soul. I needed to get back into the medical industry. So went back to school, went to Medical College of Georgia, got a medical degree, medical technology degree, which allowed me to work in the hospital in the technology and the lab part. So whenever you would go to the hospital and the doctor would ask for samples of whatever part of your body fluid, they would send it to me. I was the person that would, or a person like me, would run your stats and be able to tell you what's going on in your body based on the numbers. So this was something that I felt like was closer to what I desired to be in life, which was to help people to understand their bodies. But then and again, even though I was working in the lab and hoping to develop some way of seeing how this is going to help people, I still found out that that was just yet another industry that was tricking people and not getting them to see their real potential as it became to their body. So I had to get out. I would find myself in these spaces and these things, y'all, that I would think I am going into for one reason. And I would get in there and I would recognize that it's not nothing. Like I said, it was, and here I am coming in with all high hopes and dreams to do these things. And it's none of that. And I think that was the last time I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go back to what I know, which has always been, and has always been music. So I decided to put myself and dive headfirst back into music. So now I'm a married woman in Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't decide I don't want to do Cargill. The one of the main reasons why I moved to Georgia, I don't want to do it anymore. So I am now back in school. I've now moved into the medical industry. I'm working into the hospital. I'm working in the hospital labs. I'm transitioning. Now I'm discovering how I'm going to get back into music. I have gotten a guitar. My ex-husband bought me a guitar and now he has a guitar. Ex-husband has a guitar. I have a guitar. We decide to play in the garage every night. We'll get home from work, and part of our release and part of the way in which we decompress, which was we would go into the garage and play on our guitars and just create music. Now, a little bit of backstory: while we was in college, I was doing music in college. I've always done music. It's always been a part of my life. It's always been part of the thing that I've done. I think this is the longest in my life that I haven't done music, but it's always been a part of it. But I was doing music in college. He was doing spoken word in college. So us doing music in the garage wasn't something that was foreign. It was something that we met each other on that level. We were friends. And when we met as friends, we were doing these things. So we decided to just start playing as a way of release. And then we've always been people who have always, had our friends over or like to have friends over. So we started playing for our friends, and they was like, y'all need to get out. Y'all didn't let people hear this. And I was like, Now, again, I'm no stranger to open mics. I'm no stranger to performing. Like, I've done performances, but this just felt a little different. So we decided that we were going to do it. So we did. Went to the piano bar. And if anybody watching this that was back in those days of music, no, I don't know if the piano bar is still alive and will. I hope it is. But the piano bar will always be a staple of something that helped me to grow in my music, because it was just that. It was like loud bar, you do your thing or not. We don't get it. But it was a beautiful training ground for confidence, But we started our journey at performed at the piano bar, and it landed us into so many beautiful experiences together. I'm so grateful for that marriage, and I'm so grateful for that experience because it gave me so many beautiful things. It helped me to birth who I am in music. It helped me to find my voice. It also gave me the most oh my God, the biggest love I've ever felt. I don't know. There is no love bigger, okay, than my child, my Aquarius love child. She is my best friend. She is, I don't have to explain. She is me through and through. And I'm so grateful for that. So I'm grateful for that marriage. And even though we don't talk today, if you probably talk to him, he'll probably tell you all kind of things about me. And I cannot share those same sentiments back. Okay. I cannot say I feel any of those ways about him because I love him and I always will. But I also recognize that the person that sometimes people want you to be, you can't be, and when you can't, it sometimes would render in the relationship ending. So I am grateful for the experience that we had. Like I said, he helped me birth some of the most amazing things in my life, so I ain't got no regrets there, right? And I think this is what relationships should be. It should be us understanding why we draw them in and what they're there for, so that we can have a better balance. So, if he ever watches this, I love you. I always will love you. Thank you for giving me some of the most amazing things in my life. Mahogany does, and our daughter London. And I ain't got no beef with you, bro. None. So if you got beef with me, that's on you. I don't have none. But no, I was married for 13 years. And again, it was a beautiful experience. I don't know if I will do it again though. I'm open, right? This is the truth serum. I have taken 3 grams of mushrooms. Y'all saw it. I don't know if I'll do it again. Am I open? I'm absolutely open again. But I also want to be honest and say that if that's something that doesn't happen again for me, I feel like I had it. I feel like I had a great time in it too. I feel like it was what people think about or dream of when they think about marriage, like that, couples goals and, couples doing business together and, making money, hustling, grinding. I had all of it. And it was some ups and downs. I was in some of the most beautiful places that I've ever been in my life, but then I've also was scared because I was getting evicted and put out because of certain things. Going from a microbiologist salary to microbiologist salaries to musician salary was just not, ain't no adding it up. It wasn't adding up. So it put a lot of weight on the marriage. And even though we were going through so many different schools of thoughts and studies and stuff, it just wasn't enough to, our time was over. And so I'm grateful for that. So before the marriage ended though, one of the most important things that I also want to talk about in today's episode is my experience in being a poly woman, because that started, it started at the end of my marriage, when my marriage had come to an end, or it had came to a press pause, right? And when I love hard, y'all. Like I'm not a shallow person. You gonna get all of this, or I don't know what else you're gonna get, nothing. And so going through that experience, and even though I was very well knowledgeable in my emotions about what that relationship was about and the experience of it. It's funny because when I go back and now look at the video of me even sharing, because we had gotten so big at that point in our career, as far as my Mahogany Dust and just being known, like it was at the beginning of the wave of social media. We were very known, or what they call today, we were influencers on Facebook. So it's a lot of our personal life was very much out in the public, and I would not change it. I would do it all again. As a matter of fact, Pluto and Aquarius is urging me to do it again. So it will be my life, and my life and experiences in love is something that I enjoy. I enjoy it, and I feel like they are experiences that more people need to share so that we don't have, a lot of us don't have blueprints. We didn't get, good examples either when it comes down to our family. So we're all learning and recreating. So the more we share with each other, I think it just makes life so much beautiful and so much easier when we do it that way. So yeah, I'll be sharing more of my experience because it was very public. He did a lot of slandering to me when their relationship failed. Oh my God, you talk about being thrown. I've had a few times in my 44 years of life where I have been thrown up and down Beyonce's internet. You know what I'm saying? But that's the importance of being your biggest cheerleader, because if you are not, when I tell you the things that you would learn about yourself from people will shock and amaze you. Okay, so you gotta. That's another reason why I'm grateful for also being born and raised from Tallulah, Louisiana, because the skin that I am in, that I have had to endure in my life, has me set. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you can't hurt my feelings. I'm not saying that my feelings could be hurt, but after you hurt my feelings, I'm gonna sit back and realize that that ain't had nothing to do with me, because I don't cause any issues. I may say my words are sharp. I don't sugarcoating is not my thing. So all of my clients, all y'all that's watching, y'all know you come to sessions. Y'all know sugarcoating is not my thing. I didn't derive that in this life. I have Mercury and Aries. I am a baby talking to you. It's going to be what it is, right? But it's always love. There's never a time that I am not moving throughout this world and this space in love, because that is what I am generating within myself. So regardless of the experience that I am having with anybody, it is coming from love. And because I know this, because I can rest my head at night and wake up in the morning and know this, then regardless of how these relationships render themselves in my life, I don't have no weight behind it, because I know I'm doing my best. So I'm grateful for not only that experience, right? It opened up, like I said, Mahogany does for me. That rendered into so many traveling experiences and plays and things that we did together. And at the end of when he left, due to the way in which I love so hard, I didn't want to do it again. So poly seemed to be a way for me to learn myself more and really tap into some things, and also get to learn a community. So I went searching for this community while I was in my marriage before it started to fall apart. And I found the community, but it was a little too late, you know what I'm saying? Because in that situation was also me having to admit and tell my ex-husband that I was not a woman who was able to have orgasms. Now, I didn't say it like that. That's cute. That's not how it came out. The way it came out was I'm not having orgasms. Okay. Now, when he first asked me, okay, I didn't have the bravery enough. Now, this is at year 9. Okay. 9 going into year 10. He asked me how long it had been. Now, your girl did not have the bravery nor the confidence to be honest and tell him what it was. So I said 3 years, right? So of course, he does what any man does and any man is supposed to do. They go back and start thinking and calculating what has happened in the last 3 years that will cause this to be a problem. But the truth was, I was not a woman who could have penetrative orgasms. And I did not know how to explain that. I did not know I just didn't know, right? I was very lost in that dynamic of myself, but I knew I had to get it out. So I kept trying. So offering, asking to learn Kama Sutra, asking to learn how to do different tantra, different techniques, I thought would help to open that up for me before I had to just blurt it all out. But every time I would ask him to learn something new, he was just like, for what? What did you want? What is wrong with you? And I understand those things. Like now I think about those things now at just being 44. I'm like, all of that makes sense. But it also makes sense of why I had to get it out. And eventually I had to tell him that it wasn't 3 years, that I just was a woman that had never had him in our marriage. And that tore him up. Okay. From the inside, I watched it just tear him down, because he did not, a lot of the things that I think he identified as in our relationship and in our marriage, I think had just flown out the window. And I don't think that was a space that I even knew how to repair, because I had built it, right? We had both built it. And so it had to come tumbling down. So it was one of the things that I think that caused the relationship to also end, on the fact that I just did not know myself sexually. So after we separated, that a lot of things fell apart, including those things, right? All these details fell apart. No cheating, but just these details fell apart. When we decided to get back together, we got back together for a year and a half under the fines of some of the things that I was already practicing when him and I wasn't together, which was I decided to become solo poly. I decided to try to figure out other forms of relating, of things that could allow me to feel safe and explore my heart space, and grow and challenge myself. And so I started doing those things because I no longer felt like I had someone to hurt or someone to misunderstand my actions when I'm just doing what is innate to me. So as I'm going through these steps and learning so much, him and I started back talking. Anyway, we get back together. And we get back together for a year and a half, and it was a beautiful experience. We shared more with the world. But again, when it came to an end, it was a screeching halt, because that year and a half, even though it was beautiful for me, it was a whole bunch of different things. So the poly, I recognized though, when I was solo poly, and even when him and I got back together and we decided to open our marriage up and be a poly couple, I know that regardless of whether or not my marriage lasted or not, that being a poly woman was just a better fit for me. Not that when I thought about all the other lifestyles, including monogamy, it just didn't give me room to fully explore my spirituality, because in that space of sexuality, for me, it has always felt like something that has been very sacred. So I needed space, and it allowed me to have that space. And to this day, it still allows me to have that space to learn and grow people. I know when people usually hear about poly, the first thing that comes to their mind is they think about sex partners and how many sex partners you have. But throughout my life, in being in 5, I'm say, I'm gonna have to go back and calculate that. 4. Being in 4 polydynamics, where either I have been in a V triangle, which is like me dating somebody and then they have another partner, but we don't connect, or whether it's been just a triad where we've all been connected. The energy has always been such a beautiful growth experience, regardless of how long they last. Like, I've always learned something about myself, and I pride on leaving things better than I found them. So my experience with people is always a beautiful experience, no matter how it tends to come to an end. But that is how I identify now. So being in that space, I know the world is changing. I know more people identify with it now. It's becoming more of a thing we're talking about, which is great. But I still desire to have a primary partner, someone who I can still grow and do business. Come on, shrooms, to do business with, as well as just show the world that love can look like so many different things. But it all still deserves the same praise. Like, no lifestyle deserves one praise higher than the other, because it is, favored by one particular set of spiritual or religious practices, right? We're all loving. That's what it's here for. So poly for me has been great. It's been a beautiful thing. Now, not only did poly was one of the things that was explored and birthed out of my union and my marriage, but astrology was too, because in that same portal of me trying to find myself from a sexual perspective, I was stretching far and wide, looking for tools. Where are all the tools? Can y'all please, somebody give me something? Okay, so I always known there was something to the Aries, right? And I was married, to a Libra. So I'm like, it's got to be something to this. So I go on a hunt to just find out what it means to be in Aries, and a birth natal chart pops up. Okay. I'm like, what is this? I know the Aries part, but oh my God, it was moon sign, Venus sign, Jupiter. And I was like, what is all of this mess it's talking about? Right. So I am a deep diver of information. Once you give me something and I connect to it, oh no, I'm gonna be with it for a minute. Okay. So I go on the hunt and I go and I'm reading all these details, especially the Pisces moon. The Pisces moon part had me locked up just alone. But I go into the details and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so seen. Finally, somebody know where I am. I'm not so lost in the world. I'm understood, right? And it starts to make so much sense that as this is at the beginning of the breakup of the first time I break up out of my marriage. And so now I'm telling everybody, right? Because everybody see me go through this crazy breakup from my ex, and they see me go through all these things, but now they see me, getting back up. They see things happening. I'm manifesting, like things that I want. I meet my music career that I wanted, and the ways in which I wanted it to happen, how much money I wanted, like all these things were starting to happen. And it was because I was just studying me. So of course, I didn't just study me. I started studying my ex-husband too. I'm like, oh, let me find out about him. So I'm reading all this stuff. So now there were things I didn't know. There were communication errors I was making because I just did not know. So immediately I go back and I'm like, this happened because of this and that and our charts and all these things I'm saying to him. And he's like, okay. So I'm sitting to him and we started to talk about it. And it was one of the tools that helped us to, I believe to this day, one of the tools that helped us to get back together for that year and a half. But it spawned the business that is I Am Living Aligned today. Started off as Living Aligned because that was something that I just kept hearing in my spirit as I was working through my life. Was living aligned and getting to living alignment and your alignment. Like it was just something that was resonating so hard over me. And because it was also a thing that I went from being a microbiologist and me and my ex-husband doing music full time and traveling all over the world and doing all these things. And then when my marriage fell apart, I had no income. You don't leave the medicine world. You don't leave the medical industry. You have to stay with them. You have to take continuing education courses every year to make sure that you maintain up to date on your credentials and things like that. So when you miss them, you out. You almost like you have to start over. So I quit this medical industry in this healthcare field to join this life of music, which is something that I've always wanted. But I knew that if it ever failed, that it was going to, I couldn't come back to it in the same way, which I was okay for. I was okay about. And so when the marriage did fail and I had no income, I was grateful that Spirit took me on a journey to find myself, because had it not took me on that journey to find myself and really dig into astrology, oh my goodness, the things that I've been able to accomplish today, because of my clients and the people who have been on this journey with me, oh, it has been amazing. So I'm grateful for that experience. And I tell them that all the time. Like when we're in a little bit of a, I hear a little bit of frustration when I'm explaining why it's so important for y'all. Let me talk to y'all because I know y'all looking. Why it's so important for y'all to do what you need to do is because we're all connected. Because it had not been for that experience of me and my ex-husband not making it and me going through such a horrible time of finding astrology, we would have never had our time together. Y'all would have never knew none of that stuff y'all knew. Okay. So that's why it's extremely important. And for those of you that have never had the opportunity to sit with me in session and maybe your time is coming, maybe it's not, I'm not going to be on my Leo rising stuff. I'm not going to be on my soldier boy today. But if you've never had a session, trust me when I say, please, your gift and your talent matters to all of us. We are all connected. We all need that. So if you can just do it scared, do it. Look at this. I want y'all to pay attention. Now listen, it's things that I don't want y'all to judge me for, but it's also things that I want y'all to just take notice, right? I want y'all to take notice of this set. I want y'all to take notice of where I am in this, and the fact that when I'm talking to y'all about doing things, I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to me. You feel what I'm saying? And you're privy to those conversations, because this is not the set I desire for the truth serum, right? But I have to do it until that manifests, until it shows up. I don't get to wait. I don't get to sit. You don't get to wait. We don't get to wait. You get to do, okay? And while you do, then now spirit believes you. When you do, spirit like, oh yeah, she real. She telling the truth. Oh, he telling the truth. I can start to align their relationship up for her to make that happen. But until then, you just talking. You're not telling the truth. Matter of fact, you're a liar. You're a liar to yourself, not to us, because we all liars, right? But your soul is where it matters the most. So when you're not doing what you need to do, it affects all of us. So trust when I say we got to do that, right? So astrology found me in the worst space, okay? But it birthed the best thing out of me, and it birthed my baby. It birthed my other baby, okay? I told y'all my love child is London. Can't never replace that. But I Am Living a Line came, and it not only saved me, but it helped me to really see where I come from in my bloodline, what my bloodline is really great at when it comes down to therapy and mental health and these things. And of course, coming from a family who struggled with so many issues, you know, mental health issues as alcoholism and addictions and things such as that. Of course, if you are paying attention and using the gifts as it should be, you would take this as an indication to heal yourself so that you can now make sure that the bloodline does not have to suffer in that way anymore. That's what these things are about. Your demons or the issues that you have in your life, your bloodline has those issues. They ain't unique to you. You didn't create them. They were passed down to you. And because they are, there is a way in which you can forever break them. And a lot of that has to do with, number one, just taking care of yourself. I know it sounds simple and can't be that easy. Well, baby, it is. Taking care of yourself. So number one thing, okay? So I Am Living a Line has been going on since I started originally in 2010, but it wasn't a internet thing. It was just kind of like word of mouth. People, you know, I told one person or did a session for one person, they told somebody else. By the time I got to 2012, it became a full-fledged thing. So now we are 12 years strong, and she's growing. Like, I'm so proud of I'm Living Line and where we're going with that. And I'm so proud of my ability to morph and change as I see him morph and change. And I'm grateful for all of y'all that continuously come to me and let me help you with your life and use this tool that was given to me through trauma and through a way of me allowing myself to get better in my mental health. And now I can share it with you for that same perspective. So I am grateful to you because you confirm that I am moving in my alignment, you know, and I get to make sure y'all do the same thing. So thank you. Thank you. Out of this too, right? 2012, I'm doing I Am Living a Line. I'm doing the good, everything lining up. 2016, which is now a couple years after in the business, 4 years in, I'm starting to notice that my clients are doing well, but they are falling back in a lot of ways. What they say in church, they backslide. What's going on with the backslide? Long story short, sexuality was the issue. Okay. I mean, we can understand it, right? It was my issue, it's everybody's issue, right? So in me developing a way to not only find a safe space for me to continuously to explore the things of my sexuality that I wanted to explore, kink being one of those main things, and touching into BDSM, I started to dabble in those things. I decided to take a risk and start doing an event yearly that would allow me to just really tap deep into not only the kink size of me, but also provide a safe space for my clients to start to explore and learn and educate themselves and have real life experience in a safe space. Some of those things. So in birth, Kinked Up ATL. Kinked Up ATL was birthed literally in 2017, but it became a real reality in 2018. And the journey started for me as Madam Gumbo, to provide this space to be able to bring my clients in and know that they nothing gonna happen to them as long as I was there. I took pride in that. I took pride in being a very strong dominant force to provide a space for people to learn themselves, because I feel like so much in our lives, growing up, especially in our community, our sexuality has been either taken from us or told what it's supposed to be for us. But it's not a space where we can just figure that out on our own. It's been, sexuality is such a, whew. We're gonna spend a lot of time there here too, talking about that, okay, going into those spaces. A lot of the topics that we will be touching on, of course, astrology, all the things that make up me. So, and y'all know what those are: astrology, plant medicine. Every show will be a microdose for me, and hopefully my guests as well. Hopefully they will take the microdosing journey with me, but it's not a mandatory thing. But we know that psilocybin, we know that plant medicine helps us to get truthful. So the purpose is for that. But I was grateful to be able to provide the space to allow my clients to get deeper into their sexuality and their sexual spaces. And for 6 years, Kinked Up was a beautiful baby. Every year, it taught me so much very fast. It was a fast growing baby too. That taught me so much. And I ended it at the end of December 2023 to allow myself a little bit more time to self-care and work on me on some things, and take another level as it relates to providing that space. It is not over. It will never be over, because it's a part of me. Again, all things that are me will forever get attention from me and will forever get done. Even though sometimes they have to morph and change. So Kinked Up ATL, I'm grateful for it. I met so many amazing people on that journey. It also helped to foster a lot of the things that I needed to talk about in the sexual space. It allowed me to be a part of Exotica and teach the cucumber cleanse as well. So it's so much has come out of me being very open and candid about speaking about sexuality. So I know it's a task and something that I always have to do. Out of all this work that I've had to do, raising this beautiful baby girl who's now in an art school, you know, for animation and design and Full Sail, and doing such an amazing job. When she graduated from high school, I decided to move to Mexico, which is out where I am now. I am in the amazing, beautiful country of Mexico, enjoying myself and rehabilitating, getting myself back together, deciding what I want to be now that I'm an empty nester, and taking life back, and appreciating it, and rediscovering what love is, and allowing myself to go into all those spaces. So that's where I've been for the last going over a year. I plan to be here for another year and a half. Definitely continue to nurture my daughter while she's in school. But the truth is I want to be all over this world. I want to go everywhere. I want to do whatever I want, go wherever I want, and don't nobody mess with me. They just let me spread love, and they let me sing and do all these things, right? That is my forever mantra. That is my forever manifestation, that I go where I want and I do what I want, and people love when I show up, and they love to take care of me when I show up, because they know when they do take care of me, the stuff I'm about to give you, okay, the energy that's about to come back to you is going to be amazing. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for the coming through. Every episode, I will get a chance to explore more and more, explain more and more of who I am and how I am. Also, with this episode tonight, I have decided to cut my hair. So I'm gonna change the camera. I'm probably gonna do that from this camera, but I'm gonna close this camera out. But I want to thank you guys for being a part of my first show. I'm sure that was way longer than an hour, so I'll probably be editing it. But I did it. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that I got through it, that I did it. So yeah, pay attention. Oh, I told y'all the set was one. The other thing was my nails. Okay, now I'm playing my guitar again. Okay. Also, the truth is, I love music and I'm gonna always do it. So y'all gonna be getting music out of me on this show. That's why I can't call this no podcast or none of that. It's a show because it's gonna be whatever I feel like it need to be every episode. So whatever I need to give, whatever is truthfully coming out of me is what it will be. Okay. So don't judge me about these nails, okay? Because this is not my normal. But I am readjusting myself to playing the guitar and not getting them done. And y'all know like I'm long. So it will be what it's gonna be. But just know these are the things that I watch. Watch how this set looks. This is January 2024. Watch how my set looks January 2025. Watch how the vision comes alive. That's all you gotta do. Just stay on. Trust me when I say help is on the way. Especially like for you Aries placements. You just have to do it first. And when you do, it'll show up. So I want to thank you guys for watching and being here. If there are things that you want to know about me, right, or episodes that you think we are dealing with the truth, right? Truth is always a topic. So every week, no matter who's here or whatever, is going to be the truth about those things, right? So if you want to know the truth about something and you want me to dig it, or you think I have some expertise, shrooms, some expertise and knowledge on breaking that down, I would love to. Please send it to me at the Truth Psyrum Show at proton.me. Okay. It'll be in the description. So again, thank you guys for being here with me. Oh my God. I feel so makes me feel great. All right, so we're gonna now this is the scary part. Thank y'all for being here. Even though y'all not here, y'all gonna be there when y'all watching. This is gonna be scary because this is 9. April will be 9 years. Okay, so this is 9 years. 9 years of hair that is about to go. Oh my God. I'm so glad I'm capturing it. Okay. All right, we're gonna switch. You're gonna cut them off? OMG. Say goodbye to this form of your mother. Say goodbye to this form of your mother. Bye, girl. Bye, good. Been nice knowing you. Hey. All right. I'm calling you so this be the last time you see your daughter with locks because they're getting ready to cut them off. You're getting ready to cut them off? Yeah. Oh, what? You gonna say something for me too? Mama, you say every time we had this conversation, you say the same thing. And I'm telling you, it does not work that way. I understand. It's time for them to go. It's time to get a new set. Oh, and I don't know what I'm doing with y'all. Y'all say I'm gonna have a whole head full of hair. Just stay with me. I know. Yep. I'm gonna be experimenting. This is gonna be crazy because I haven't done nothing to my hair in 9 years. So like even with me thinking about like as soon as I cut it, my brain is like, well, what are we gonna do? But I got clippers because I'm gonna cut it low. I don't want it to where I have to really do nothing with it. So I'm gonna cut it at the base first. And then watch it and see how long that is and see if I want to keep it that way or if I want to cut it a little bit more. So that way I can either keep cutting down or I don't want to, because I go to the base, baby. I go boom right there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I ain't gotta do shit. I can wake up every day and just bounce. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there. I'm talking about no work. I'm talking about no work at all. Just condition. Just nothing but moisturizing condition. That's it. You know how much more time I go spend on makeup now? The beat in the face will be superb. But yeah, okay. I'm finna go now. I'm finna go if I talk myself out of it. She was London did when she cut hers off, then she wore it, then she went got some more long hair added on. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's her. I'm not doing that shit. Because then the thing is now you gotta keep getting it. And I'm like, what is the purpose of doing it? What's the purpose of your locks longer than the braids you getting? Yeah. And that ain't even hair that you put in your hair. That is chemicals strung out to look like hair. Yes. Not hair. So. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm gonna spend this couple more minutes for the roll me a blunt and spend a few more minutes with my hair just playing in my head, and then I'm gonna whack. Yep, because you couldn't take it all off. So. Yep. And do stuff like this with it. Nope. Yep, you do all that, take pictures and all that stuff of how it was and how it. So when you want to see yourself with the hair, then you can look at it. Yeah. Maybe you change your mind. I'm not changing my mind. It's time to go. I need all these niggas out my head, baby. Every person, everything that has been up here that has ever touched their head to this hand, it needs to go. They need to go. It's gone. I ain't worried about it. I'm finna have a great time with this bald head. Me and this bald head finna have a great time. Trust me when I say that. I'm finna have a great time. Because I remember the last time I cut it short, I had a great time then too. I had a real good time. I had big earrings. It was a wild time for your girl. Your girl was having a good time in life. I'm just saying. Short blondes have more fun. That's all I'm saying. These long ones, they talk too much consciousness. It's too much sense in my head with these long locks. They need some craziness. So let the craziness year begin. That's what they need. I'm talking to you too. Let the craziness year begin. I guess 2024 gotta be it, I guess. See, now that's how everybody coming in. Everybody come in that way. Why should I behave if nobody else want to behave? Let's everybody wild out. Everybody. Everybody do what needs to be done. I'm right there with them. Okay, but it's a leap year, so you know they say about leap years, if you froggy, didn't jump. That's what that's about. This feels like a leap year. It feels like a crazy year. It feels crazy. 2024 years. Yeah. So. Well, I'm down. All right. I'm in the car. I'm in the car. I got the. You know, I'm gonna be doing that for my hair. I'm gonna be doing this with no hair because I remember I had it. So I'm gonna forever be able to throw my neck and swing my neck around. Forever. But yeah. You know, just say I think to have a whole head, have ponytails and all kinds of things. Girl. Okay. It'll be in the fridge. It'll be in the freezer. All right. I'll call you back with a bald head. Goodbye. Oh, wow. Bitch, I'm free. Since before was before. I've been knew the score. Yeah. Wild and wonderful. In my own skin, comfortable. You got no dominion over me. And I know that scares the fuck out of you. If I were you, I would be too. You'd probably rather die than admit who I am. And that's just fine. You're running out of time. And that's just fine. You're running out of time.
Good witch, righteous bitch. Conjure the juju like only you do. You're a lover, you're a wonder, you're a whore, you're an angel, you're a ruler, you're a god amongst mortals. Good witch, righteous bitch. Conjure the juju like only you do. You birth them all, sir. You birth them all and pay the cost. You birth them all, whether they know it or not. But it's cool. Gracious ruler, learning you and schooling you. God don't have to shout that God is God. God just does the work that God has to do.